Here you're being asked which of the following equations is true. And we have four equations here. We have a mixed number that was changed to a percent. We have another mixed number that was changed to just a whole number. We have mixed number changed to decimal, and we have here mixed number that is changed to percent. And so this could be a little bit tricky, so I'm going to take a little bit of time to explain every single one of these conversions so we don't get confused, okay? So let's start with the first one. Here we have 2 4/5, and they've changed that to 208%. So the very first thing that we're going to do, we're going to change this mixed number into a decimal, and then we're going to change it to percent. So whenever you guys have a mixed number, you could think of the whole numbers here. I always tell my students this. You could think of these as dollars, and you could think as a fraction as cents. Okay? So let's go ahead and put this on these $2. Let's go ahead and put them where they belong in our place value. And the 2 is going to go right here, like if that were $2. And now the 4/5, that represents the cents, but we got to change this to decimal. So we're going to have to change 4/5 to decimal by dividing. So let's divide 4 by 5. Top number always goes in the box. Okay, just remember that. Top number in the box. And the bottom number goes outside. How many groups of 5 go into 4? That would be 0. 5 times 0, that's 0. Now, how many groups of 5 go into 4? Well, we can't divide, right? So I'm putting a decimal here and a decimal here. And I'm going to add 2 zeros. Now I'm bring one of those zeros down. Now, how many groups of 5 go into 40? That would be 8. 8 times 5, that's 40. And then we're just going to bring the last 0 down. I'm just putting the arrow so you guys see where I'm bringing it down. And how many groups of 5 go into 0? Well, that is 0, and we're done here. So 4/5, that's equivalent to 80 cents. Now we're just going to put these together. I'm going to put the 80 right here. 2.80. So 2 4/5, that's equivalent to $2.80. And now we got to change this to a percent. To change any decimal to a percent, we move the decimal point 2 times to the right. We're going from a decimal to a percent. So we're just going to move the decimal point 2 places to the right. It's 1, 2, and we're going to drop our decimal, and we're just going to put our percent sign. So 2 4/5, that's equivalent to 280%. I want us to see that these numbers, they look like they're similar, but they're not, because the 8 here is in the tens place, and here we have a 0 in the tens place. So they flipped these two, or they exchanged these two numbers around. And you will see this on your test. They will try to confuse you by doing something like this, giving you an example. Not an example, I'm sorry, giving you a question where they do this. So this can't be your answer. Even though it looks like it's similar, it's not. 280%, it's greater than 208%. So we have 3.5, and they're saying that is equivalent to 350. So let's go ahead and change 3.5 to a decimal, I'm sorry. 3, we're going to think of this as dollars. So put that in the ones place, $3. And 1/2, I highly recommend that you memorize this. 1/2 is equivalent to 0.50. If you haven't already, those are our cents. So that's equal to 3.50. And if you forget that, you could divide 1 by 2. And here they're saying we don't have a percent sign. So they're saying that 350 is the same as 350. Now these are two very different numbers, because whenever you have whole numbers, you can think of them as dollars. So we're going to add a decimal here and 2 zeros. It would be like comparing $350 to $3.50. Do these two have the same value? They definitely do not. Okay, $350 is much greater than $3.50. Okay, so this can be our answer here. Let's check this one here. Here we have 2 1/4. Again, we're going to think of our whole number as dollars. So I'm going to put it here to the left of the decimal. And then 1/4, if you guys haven't memorized this, I highly recommend memorize this too. 1/4 is the same as 0.25. Just going to put that on the right side. Now, if you forget this, you can always divide like we did over here. And here, let's compare 2.25 and 0.225. They look like they're very similar, but if we notice, here we have the decimal that is to the left of the 2, And here we have the decimal that's in between both of these twos here. So these are not the same value. 2.25 is a lot greater than 0.225. So this can't be our answer either. Now let's check D. We've got 2 and 3/5, and we got to see that's equivalent to 260%. So let's go ahead and take a look at our whole number. We're going to think of that as dollars, $2. Where will we put that? That would be to the left of the decimal, right? And we got to change this to our cents, 3/5. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to divide. Top number goes in the box. Top number always goes in the box. I'm sure you guys already saw that in my other videos. And the bottom number goes outside. You think of top dog in the house or cowboy in the house. And let's go ahead and divide these. How many groups of 5 go into 3? That's 0. 5 times 0 is 0. How many groups of 5 go into 3? Now that I can't anymore, I'm putting decimal. I'm going to put 2 zeros. I like to put 2. You can put more than 2 if you like. And I'm bringing down the 0 from the tens place. Now I want us to notice I'm bringing it down from the tens place. I got to put it right above that. Our answer. How many groups of 5 can I subtract from 30? That would be 6. It's going to be right above the 0 that we just brought down. And 30 minus 30 at 0. Bring down the last 0. How many groups of 5 go into 0? That would be 0. And let's subtract that. We're done with that. And so let's go ahead and put the 0.60 over here. Let's put our 60 cents. And I refer to money because money, students feel a lot more comfortable working with money. So we want to just always try to see these mixed numbers as money. So we got 2.60, but this is in decimal form. We want to change it to a percent. So we're going from a decimal to a percent. We're going to move the decimal 2 spaces to the right. Let's go ahead and do that. 1, 2. We're going to drop the decimal point. That is equivalent to 260%. So D would be our answer.